This video is about programmable logic controller familiarization. I choose this Omron PLCs because I consider it a leading brand in automation, and it is widely used as well. As I mentioned in my previous lecture, PLC is considered an industrial computer, and as such, we expect it to be similar in function to the personal computer that we are commonly using. In our PC, we have the so-called CPU, or the Central Processing Unit. PLC also has CPU. For the input devices, our PC has mouse and keyboard, while the counterpart in PLC are the switches, like the push button switches, toggle switches, and some of the limit switches that are commonly used in the industry. Other input devices for PLC are different types of sensors. We have the photoelectric sensors, inductive proximity sensors, capacitive proximity sensors, and many other different types of sensors. In my other video, we will be talking about these different types of sensors. Now let's talk about the output devices. If the output devices of our PCs are the monitors and printers, our PLCs have indicating lamps, alarms, motors, solenoid valves, and cylinders for their output devices. So what I have here now are two models of Omron PLC. You can see that they come in different dimensions. One is a smaller version of the other. The smaller version, this one is the smaller version. This is Omron model CEN 10C1AR-A-B1. You can see here. You can see here for the model. This is CEN 10C1AR-A-B1. This is a relatively old model, but it's still functional. It's still widely used in the industry for a very small automation project. 10, the number 10 means it has a 10 IOS. As you can see here, the model is very compact. As I mentioned, it has 10 IOS. You can see here the output ports and the input ports. So these terminals are allocated for 6 input devices, while these terminals down here, these are terminals for the output devices. You can see there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 output devices, namely, I don't know if you can see here, 00, 01, 02, 03. These are output devices. So you can connect your output devices that I mentioned a while ago, like your indicating lamp, solenoid valves, coupled with cylinders, pneumatic cylinders, in the output devices. Okay? Also shown here, as you can see here, this is the power supply requirements. So the power supply requirements is AC, ranging from 100 to 240 volts. That means you can connect this device on your wall outlet. Okay. But of course, better if you use a regulated power supply. Now for the mounting, you can see at the rear part, this one is the, you can see that this device is DIN rail mounted. Okay, this is a DIN rail mounting device. Because of this, yeah, you can place in the DIN rail. However, you can still see here the presence of holes. Can you see these holes? This one at the bottom, and there's another one here on top. That means this also has a provision for bolt-on mounting. Okay, you can use bolt in your panel or machine, inside the machine. So another interesting feature of this very compact PLC is the LCD display. You can see here the LCD display, and also small buttons. You can see here 8 buttons. Okay, these are 8 buttons, very compact. So the display is also equipped with backlight, meaning you can use this device even in a dark location. Now, you may be wondering what is the use of these small buttons. The small buttons are used for programming. Remember that this is programmable logic controller. You can program this very small device. Okay. Now, another interesting feature about this compact PLC is that this is expandable. This is expandable. Okay, what is meant by expandable PLC? Remember, it has only 8 IOs, but these 8 IOs can be extended or expanded to accommodate more input and output device. Maybe in the future you have additional motor to run, okay, additional sensors to install. In that case, you don't need to buy a new PLC because this one is expandable. All you need to do is to buy the I/O modules to accommodate the new I/O devices. Now, let's talk about the disadvantage. The disadvantage of this small PLC is that you cannot use your laptop or PC to program the device. Also, you cannot use other external devices for programming. The only way to do the programming is by using the 8 small buttons. These small buttons. These small buttons, as I mentioned a while ago, in front is used for programming. So this is the only way to do the programming. Okay? That is one of the disadvantages. And because of this disadvantage, another model, I want to introduce another model, this PLC. You can see the difference in terms of size. This is slightly bigger, but still considered compact. Okay? Because of the disadvantage of the small PLC, I would like to introduce another model. This is also made by Omron. The number of I/O is the same as the small Zen PLC. But this one is, let us check. Can you see? Can you see the model number? This one is CPM1A-10CDR-A-V1. Okay? That means because of the number 10, that means this is also 10 IOs. Okay? Maybe you are wondering, since this is also 10 IOs, why do we need to introduce this one? It has the same capability. The reason why I introduced this model, although this is bigger, is to overcome the disadvantage of the small Zen PLC. Remember that it's quite inconvenient to program the small PLC because of the small LCD. It's hard to see the ladder diagram. Okay, remember you cannot use the laptop to program, so it's a lot of inconvenience, especially during debugging of program. Not only during the writing of the program, but also during debugging. This PLC, this CPM1A, can be programmed using an external device. Okay, we call it terminal. So we can use a terminal. We can use our laptop to program. So it's a lot easier, more convenient, because you can see the ladder diagram in your PC. Okay, unlike this one, unlike the small Zen PLC where there is only one liner. In your laptop, you can see the entire logic ladder diagram. It's a lot easier to debug the program and to write the program. Now, how to interface? You can see there is a port here where you can interface your terminal external terminal directly, or you can interface your laptop using an adapter. Okay, a lot easier, but this is also 10 iOS. Okay, let us check the power supply. So by using your laptop, you can have a full view of the ladder diagram in your laptop monitor. So it is a lot easier to debug any program. And how to do that? Of course, you need to download a software. And software can be downloaded or can be purchased at a very reasonable price. Okay? So just like the small PLC, it also has it also needs a power supply. You can see here the requirement. You can see 100 to 240 volts AC for the power supply, and the terminals is here on top. The input, you see there is a safety cover for the terminals. These are the input terminals. These are 6 input devices, namely 00, 01, 02, 03, 04, up to 05, because the 6 input devices can be interfaced. Okay? The output terminal is here. It also has a safety cover. Okay? These are the output terminals. So the same as with the small Zen PLC. For the mounting, the same as Zen, it is also DIN rail mounted. And you can see here the presence of holes, one on top and the other is at the bottom. That means this can also be bolted on your panel. Okay? This is a very affordable PLC. I think this one you can buy the brand new for 2,000 to 2,500 per unit. Brand new, original Omron. While the other one, the CPM one, maybe you can buy 4,000 to 5,000 pesos, Philippine pesos. Okay? Software not included, terminals not included. Only the programmable logic controller with 10 iOS. And just like the Zen, the iOS are also expandable. You can expand it. Okay? So that ends my presentation about programmable logic controller familiarization. Of course, there are also other leading brands like Siemens, Fuji Electric, Mitsubishi, Siemens, and many others. Keyence also. Okay? So that ends my presentation.